Okay, I'm taking the dog for a walk. It's a 2-mile trip, and I'm going to talk about my discovery of observation when I was 19. Started at 17 years old. I was reading the book Carlos Castaneda's Teachings of Don Juan. I had gone through a bit of a slight depression when I was 16 and searching for alternate philosophies, and I came across that book and I soaked it up like a sponge, and I read it, and without even realizing it, I incorporated it right into my life, the talkings that he had. But in particular, what got to me was the theory that all things are meant to be, down to picking a book off a shelf. And I declared at that point in my life that nothing happens in my life by accident. And it ruled my life from that point on. So at 17, I by reading also Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, I came up with a system and a theory of programming the subconscious mind to alert me of opportunities. I had noticed that in my life that when I wanted something really bad, I'd start to see it around me. I recorded that fact and then empowered it with subconscious programming to enhance it. What happened was, in high school, last 2 years, I ended up owning 16 cars, all for under $100, by being alerted of cars and driveways, because I had a passion for mechanics and cars. Highlighted by a 1966 GTO, white with a black top. It was gorgeous, and that was very satisfying and enlightening to me. I now turn to the most important subject at the time. At 19, I was smoking 2.5 packs of cigarettes a day. I have a bit of a addictive personality. I do things with something quite often. Anyway, I turned to the process, this subconscious programming, combined it with theories of the time. I'd read some sales stuff and just about, combined a lot of things, and including, at this point, what I theorized was the secret of life, located around us all the time. This secret would dominate the process and my life henceforth in terms of philosophy, and I see it literally as the way life is meant to be, and I have a whole philosophy around it, but I won't discuss it. But anyway, good dog, Jade. Anyway, I put myself into a 1-month observation point. The theory was this, that choice happened free and clear after consideration, that all things must be considered without prejudice, equally and judiciously. So I set forth programming to look at the issue of smoking without prejudice or preconceived notions, but I didn't do it from a conscious level. I did it from a subconscious level. And I just went out and lived my life, let it happen. The month I spent was incredible. I mean, everything was enhanced. Of course, I'm 19 years old. I think this is the way life should be. It was almost psychedelic in nature, and I enjoyed it thoroughly. So after 1 month, I sat down to come to a point of choice. The theory is that if you truly choose, then the other side, because choice gives you a point of demarcation, it puts you on one side or the other. Before that point, you're in no man's land. You're neither on one side or the other. And by virtue of being on one side, the other becomes possible. That's the theory. Anyway, I sat down and let it come out, and I chose to smoke. I immediately got incredibly upset, threw the paper, tore it up, kicked things. I didn't realize how pissed off I was. I had gone through all this thing, and to me it didn't work. I mean, what the hell? All that work for nothing, and this and that, and I just grabbed my beer and my cigarettes and went on to life. Well, about a week later, I'm down to 2 packs of cigarettes. I don't think anything of it. Maybe I'm just, in a mood or whatever. And I just blow it off. I realize at this point that something's different in me. I don't know what it is. Again, I'm 19, so, things different happen all the time. But this, this is another different. I'm smoking a pack and a half now, and this is something. Now, this is not normal. I don't know who to talk to. I can't go see anybody about it. I can't read about it. I am like, this is weird. So I told my sister, of course, and I was very close to my sister. She's younger than me. She's 4 years younger, but she was obviously impressioned by me a lot, and saw me smoking less, and wow, that's good. That's good. I said, it's good. Yeah. It's definitely good. I don't know what it is, but it's good. Anyway, about a month after this choice period, I walked into the store. I remember this vividly. I walked into the country store in Natick, Mass, where I lived, and I bought the cigarettes, and the whole thing was almost like a theater. I could see myself giving them the money and grabbing the pack of cigarettes like an automatic motion I was doing. And I looked at the cigarettes, and I saw at that point there was no desire whatsoever to smoke, and I threw them in the trash. Passing a house here, I'm gonna quiet myself a little bit from this recording, so hold on. Well, so at that point, I realized that my desire to smoke was completely gone. I had no desire to smoke. The strange thing about that is, there was no smoke. There was nothing. There was nothing. It was completely gone. I could grab a cigarette and smoke it. It wouldn't affect me. Being around smoke didn't reactivate me. Nothing. And I couldn't share it with anybody because no one else had the experience. And I knew I had something special, but I didn't know what it was. So I used subconscious programming to drive me to the answer of what happened. And it took a while. Now, I was 19 now. At 23, I got married to a beautiful girl. Excuse me, I was 23. She was 19. We had 2 kids, Nahum, Nahum, and Crystal. They're now in their 30s, 30 and 31. And I have 3 grandkids. My son is a special options ranger, team leader, had a tour in Iraq, and that will come up later. Actually, let me explain that now. I'll be talking to him later. I was estranged from him for 20 years. I went through a tough time when my wife went to the bar, met a guy, ended up living with him, and ended up marrying him. And came to me at one point and said she had made a mistake, but my 2 kids were with them, and he was alienating them against me. My daughter was too young to be really influenced that way, but my son, being 6 years old, was very obvious, and I was extremely upset to the point that I was considering a shotgun and blowing his head off. I mean, I've never been that mad in my life, and I give him a hat, never him again, but life together would be the best thing for the kids. It was a very tough decision and I did. So I was away from them for quite a few years. My daughter contacted me when I was about 5 years ago, and we met. And then we met with my son before he went to special options team leader training, and then he did a tour in Iraq and came back with PTSD. So he came and visited me. Oh, by the way, my daughter, 18 at the time, met him and her other sister, and the 2 of them, my daughter and my son, became very close. He went up to the school and made his presence felt, and knew that this was my brother. And I mean, what a gift to give a young girl a brother that's he won the Special Forces fight off in Iraq. I mean, it's a gift you cannot give. Just great. Anyway, he came to me telling me that the doctors told him that he exhibited symptoms of being sexually abused, and he had gone through it from every angle he could, and that was their consensus. It wasn't a definite. It was symptoms pointing to it. So he came to me, being his dad, and with him till he was 6, 7 years old, to find out what happened. So I told him that he wasn't sexually abused, that he was actually loved quite well, quite thoroughly, and his life up to that 6 point was bliss. Then came this point where this man turned him against the man that he called dad and loved him, and all he could do was suppress all the goodness in his life and all the good memories in his life and block them out to survive in this new relationship he had. So he gained an ability, emotions, and he mentioned to me that he couldn't remember anything before the age of 7. Had none at all, and it was a buzzing in his head he couldn't get rid of. So I shared with him my technology, which I have not patented, but not the whole thing, but I told him how to program the subconscious mind and use the secret to bring forth the memories that he had before age 6. That the system would work by itself, that he needed to use his martial arts would benefit him in this case. And he ended up with a relationship with a woman, and I know that it worked for him. I'll be calling him Saturday, this is Thursday, and telling him, asking him about it, and I'm sure he shared it with his military friends who have PTSD. I don't know that, but I assume, because taking care of your friends when you have something good happen to you is the way of the world, especially when you're as close as you are to the military friends and people that fought with you. And I'm going to push for videos being made by him, by them, to add to my video. So just let you know that's on my mind. In any case, the fact that I was able to contribute to him to curing his PTSD is another miracle in my life.